Well, good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us. We're going to do a little role playing between an agent and a buyer, and an agent and a seller, to hopefully give you some tips that might help you in those conversations, whether it's your first time having them or your 20th time having them. So I will throw out some tips of resources that you have as I kind of go through some statements and responses. So be sure to pay attention for those, and I'll add them to the email as well. All right. So Karen is going to be my buyer today. So,
Hi.
If we say that we're meeting for the first time, Karen, I see you're interested in finding a house. That's awesome. I do want to cover a few quick points with you. And agents, by the way, sometimes that buyer consultation is done on the spot, maybe at the first house that they called about and they want to go see. So you're going to be able to do that on the fly, especially in a market like this. When inventory is low and you might only have the opportunity to do it on the fly. So Karen, first, thanks for reaching out and calling. I'm happy to show you this house. I do want to stress to you the importance, though, of getting a pre-approval letter. Maybe you've already talked to a lender. If not, I'm happy to recommend a few, but you might find some confidence in the banker you work with.
Okay.
They're going to ask you for things. Paycheck stubs, W-2s, tax returns. So whatever you need to get to them, get to them. Once you're armed with that pre-approval letter, we're going to know what your buying power is, and we can better find properties that will meet your needs within that budget.
Okay.
And one thing I say is that a lot of times lenders are going to tell you what you look like on paper, and you're going to look at your checkbook and say that's not really what I feel like. So don't be afraid to say I'm approved for this, but I want to stay in this.
Okay.
I'm going to show you houses that you want to buy and be happy with.
Right.
Okay. My second point to point out is that this is a relationship that we're building. You could certainly work with any agent that you want in the city of Cincinnati, but I would prefer that you work with me. With that being said, if you go into like an open house, you go see a builder, just mention that you're working with me, and that will let them know that I'm representing you and that they need to go through me to fine tune anything that you want to look at.
Okay. Certainly.
Because otherwise it will be hands off, and you can call me as much as you want, but I really will be able to help you if you've committed yourself with them.
Okay.
And then the third and most important thing is your out-of-pocket expense. A lot of people get excited about buying a house, and then they start getting all these costs thrown at them.
Right.
It's a little bit of sticker shock. So I want to tell you up front, you're going to have to pay a fee to the lender. So you talk to your lender, ask them what the application fee is.
Okay.
You're also going to have to put some earnest money down when you make an offer, and we'll go through a purchase contract more in detail when we actually want to write one. Okay, but earnest money is a good faith deposit that you're going to put down, and that can be any amount really, but ideally there's some ranges within the different price ranges. So that's going to be something out of your pocket too. Once you get an accepted contract, you're going to have to pay for the inspection. So that's another out-of-pocket expense. I know these seem to be adding up, but just keep in mind, you're investing in your dream home, right? And then finally, you will have to pay like insurance premium or a down payment for your insurance premium on your homeowner's insurance when you come to closing.
Okay.
So all of that is besides your down payment. This is out of pocket going through the process, which could really tally up to be about $1,000.
Okay. All right.
So if you
Thank
you got
you.
some coffee too,
Yeah.
if you want that. Other than that, I can send your homes, that I meet your criteria once we talk about your wants and needs. Or if you come across any that you want, I know you might be up on Zillow a lot, or maybe another broker's website. They all are different formats. Just hit that share button and share it to me.
Okay.
And I'll take down information and we'll set up appointments to go through that.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Wonderful.
Any questions off the bat, or just until we get there?
I think until we get there, I guess we'll start with the pre-approval and see
Okay.
how we can get where we get started.
Okay. That sounds
All right.
good. There you go. It's that buyer consultation on the fly, talking about what the most important points are to cover with the buyer up front. And once you get into showing houses, there's some other etiquette to do. If I want to, let's go ahead and advance in the time a little bit.
Okay.
Show a house. Everybody has their different process of doing this, and that's totally up to you, whatever you're comfortable with, and whatever that relationship is, that you or lingo you come to understand with your buyer going through. I'm going to do it as I do it. Okay. So, all right, Karen, we're pulling up to our first house here in a few minutes.
Okay.
Feel free to take your time. Don't have to follow me, bumper to bumper. Once we get to the house, if there's something you don't like about it, as soon as you get out of the car, don't be afraid to tell me. I certainly don't want you to waste your time, so don't feel like you're afraid to tell me and waste your
Just
time.
roll right by.
You can just wave out the window and say, no, not this
Okay.
time. So, once we get to the house, everything is locked in the lockbox, whether it's electronic or a combo. So I'll get the key out and we can get into the house. Once we're inside the house, I do, for our own safety, lock the door behind me.
Okay.
So I have a lot of clients that go to leave, as we're leaving,
Mhm.
and why is this locked? I just want to know from my safety is the foremost in my mind, so I have a key in my hand and it's locked, right?
That's
Once we're in the house, though, we can go through, turn on lights, turn on faucets. I want you to check out everything from, the bright light in the room to the water pressure in the faucet.
okay.
I wasn't notified of any pets, but if I were to be, are you allergic to cats or dogs?
No.
Okay, so we'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
So, and maybe if you get through the first few rooms and you say, you know what, it's not feeling, I'm just not feeling it, again, don't be afraid to tell me.
Okay, great.
So let's go have fun and check out these houses.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so anything past that would really come to actually writing offers, and we'll have different classes available for that for you guys on the terms of the contract and writing things up. Okay.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna stop there in the buying scenario. Did you want to add anything to that, or?
No, I think that's great.
Okay.
I think we would have a lot of fun together looking at
So let's talk about if you were a seller now.
Okay.
And I really want to zoom in on what it is today, because with inventory so low, a lot of sellers are saying, I would be crazy not to sell right now. I could get so much more money for my house.
Right.
Okay, so if you had reached out to me and said, I'm thinking about selling, would you come look in the house and talk to me about it?
Okay.
So Karen, thanks for reaching out. I hear that you're thinking about selling your home. Can I ask why? Do you have an end game in mind, or?
Honestly, it just seems like everyone that I talk to is saying that the market is so hot right now that I'm watching the prices just soar around my neighborhood, and I thought why not?
I'm sure you could get a lot of increased equity you didn't expect in your house by selling it today. Now, getting it sold, though, is one thing. Where are you going to go after it's sold?
That's a great question.
Okay. And we can look at options, but I do try to encourage my sellers to have their end game in mind, so that you're looking forward to that. So when I ask you questions like, can we deportionize the house? Can we move this out of here? You're not so uncomfortable or offended by that. So,
right.
Because we're going to keep your big picture, your next stuff in mind. So
okay.
We can go ahead and continue to talk, but kind of think about where you're going to go after that.
Certainly, I can do that.
Some of the key points in the process of selling, number one is to do kind of a market analysis, so I can give you an idea what your house is going to sell for in this market. You probably already have a dollar amount in mind, and it's probably because your neighbor's house is the exact same and sold for the exact same, but that buyer bought that house, so we don't have that buyer anymore.
True.
So we're going to find a buyer that's going to want your house. So it may not be exactly the same price or the same amount of time that your neighbor sold.
Okay.
But I will give you an idea of what we think the market's going to let your house go for. Okay. And we'll see how that goes. With that being said, it only takes one person to see it and one person to write an offer. So don't get discouraged if you don't get a showing right away, or you might just get one showing.
Okay.
It's not reflective on either of us not doing enough to get the house sold. It's more about the buyers that are available right now in the market.
All right.
With that being said, I'm going to be honest going through this house and telling you some things that. You want to sit in and join us? Are you role playing right now? I am. Okay, bye. That I think that would be the best presentation. Put your house in the best presentation. So I'm going to let you know that some personal knickknacks that might be around here will be better in the box ready to go on to your next phase.
Okay.
With that being said, it's going to be a tough thing, but you want to always kind of keep the house show ready, because people could call at any time. By no means do I want to interrupt dinner or your Saturday afternoon that everybody's off work and enjoying. So give me a heads up if you need some lead time restrictions on that.
Okay.
But we want to get people in here, and we don't want you to feel like we're rushing around trying to get cleaned up.
Okay.
So,
All right.
we'll talk about those things.
Yeah, I have a couple, big dogs too, so
Okay.
trying to keep.
Well, again, it's all in your time, and believe me, if people really want to see the house, they're going to schedule at a time that's available.
Okay.
So they have no idea what that schedule is going to be until their agent, or they call me myself and say, I want to see it, as to what the availability is. Okay. We'll put a sign in the yard, with a lockbox on the door. The contract that we sign will go over certain terms such as how long we're gonna have this house listed for. Usually that's, about 6 months to a year.
Okay.
Sometimes it's even less. The bottom line just comes to be that, it's a contract that you're agreeing to with, the brokerage that I can represent you in getting the house sold. Now, I want to do that as quickly as I can, but between getting that done and actually closing could be 30, 45 days. So generally, I like to do about 3 to 6 months,
Okay.
just so that we're covered on that. But once the house sold, obviously the contract's done.
Okay.
People coming in to see your house, aside from the time availability, we prefer that you're not there. It is your house, and if you need to stay for whatever reason, just let me know so I can give everybody a heads up. Other than that, there'll be a lockbox on the front door with a key in it that only agents that have a license and belong to the board are able to come and get the access code and see the house.
Okay.
And they will bring them with, but we won't have anybody in the house without a licensed agent.
Okay. Good.
As far as when it comes to an offer, we really have to discuss that when it happens in the moment. But I'll give you certainly enough time to review everything and talk about all the terms and so forth. So it's a lot of information in a short time, but number one, get your end game.
Yeah.
together.
There were no rooms
So
to
we
go.
know, what direction we're going.
Okay.
Do you have
Great.
any other questions or? how those things come up?
I can't think of anything else. I know that I certainly wouldn't want to be present when people were looking through my house because I've been in that position before and it's uncomfortable. So, yeah, but that was very helpful. Thank you.
All right. Well, that's kind of it in a nutshell too. And you're going to do that your own way and really depending on how that seller's really came to you, whether it's somebody you know or that you're interviewing amongst other agents, for that listing. Again, just be prepared, have your ducks in a row, do that CMA, know that listing agreement. I mean, I didn't do it right here on the spot, but I can recite that paragraph by paragraph. So read through it, know what it says, and be able to answer those questions.
Great.
Well,
That's
it's
awesome.
kind of a short session, but we wanted to kind of give agents a different feel on, picking up some tips that they can use in their business.
Yeah, I think this should be helpful.
Thank you so much for joining me.
You bet. Thank you.
And everybody else enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.
Bye.